was quitting my corporate job after 8 years of working at the People's Place really the best idea? Was it a good idea? Hey there, it is your favorite nurse yogi, Lesline, and if this is your first time clicking on my pretty face, thank you. I am a registered nurse with 12 years of healthcare experience, and I'm also a certified yoga instructor with 5 years of teaching experience. I recently quit my job, but technically I left one corporate job to go to another corporate job, and that video, I'll leave it linked below, got the most views after doing 100 days straight on YouTube. So that told me y'all are interested on how I balance, because also this is your first time clicking on my face. I have a corporate job and I also have my wellness business. So my wellness business, Lesline Does Wellness, where I show moms how to put themselves first through yoga, is my side hustle at this time. And staying at that corporate job for 8 years, almost 10, I am going to round up. It was me trying to prove to myself that this was going to be my last job. This is it. This is the last corporate job I'm going to work. And lo and behold, that was not correct. I wasn't making the moves in my business, in my side hustle, that I needed to make in order to fully leave corporate America. And so today in the video, I want to share with you, how many questions? I believe 3 questions that I need to ask myself, and I feel like they'll benefit you on when it's time to actually take the leap. So make sure you hit that subscribe and let's get into it. So if you're on this corner of the internet, you are either you just took the leap, you're about to take the leap, or you're like me and you haven't done no type of financial planning. Yeah. And I know there's people that just do it, like they just take the leap, and I love that for them, but your girl got to do a little bit of financial planning. Not to give y'all all of my business, but I am married to my husband. We've been married, how long I've been married to the man. We've known each other since 2009, and in 2016, 10 years. It's 10 years that we have been married, and he is not an entrepreneur. This channel's about me. But just for context, I feel like that's another part of the strife when it can come into marriage, partnership, whomever you are with. If you are co-creating life with somebody, when you have a business and that partner is not a part of the business, you have to learn how to effectively communicate to your partner that this is you're not bullshitting. Like this is what you want to do. And I know in some people's cases that can cause a breakup, a divorce, because your partner is not a supportive partner. And thankfully, I have a very supportive partner when it comes to everything in this house. When I tell you, I know a lot of women deal with mental load. My mental load is very light. You thought I was going to say very heavy. My mental load is very light. So even though my husband don't fully understand what I'm doing on this people's internet, I've learned, because I used to get mad that he didn't fully conceptualize. I realized that he supports me in a way that most women that are first-time entrepreneurs in their family don't get. And that's the reason they have to stop their business, is because they don't have a supportive partner. And one thing I'm going to tell you, before you click off this video, in order to, I don't want to say I'm sustaining my business, because I'm not even I'm going to get so real with you all right now, but these videos are for me to reflect, and also for me to take, not stock, but y'all that are better with words, let me know. I don't even make $1,000 a month in my business at this time. And so that is also the reason why late last year, I decided to hire a business strategist one-on-one, where she is helping me, shout out to Merlene, to really strategize my business, because your girl loves to produce content. Today, for example, so I don't know if I said this already in this video, but this is, I just completed last Friday. Today is May 19th, 2026. There's a calendar right over there. May 15th, 2026 was my 100th day in a row of creating 20 to 30 minute videos here on YouTube. Right? Okay, so I did that for 100 days. And the past few days, I am like, I need to create. I need to do something. I need to create a new offering. Can you relate to that? And if you woo-woo right now, it's like the Taurus moon. And Taurus, my husband is a Taurus, so I know a little bit. Taurus, people that are Tauruses, they are very grounded and rooted. They're a bull, very stubborn in who they are. I need that energy because as a Libra, you don't really be hearing about us a lot. With the exception of maybe Cardi B, because Cardi B a Libra. She literally, like, I forget her birthday, but my birthday October 12th, and our kids are the like when I was pregnant with my son, he is 7, about to be 8. Like we were pregnant at the same time. Anyways, I'm very flighty, as you can see in this video, and I've gotten feedback from a fellow nurse over here on the YouTube that said I be bouncing around a lot and that I should, do stuff off camera. So feedback taken, and I have notes. So but at the same time, I'm gonna stay who I am. But I took the feedback, and I do need notes. So I say that to say these past few days, your girl has been itching. Especially today, I was really itchy. And when I say itchy, not actually itchy, thank God. Allergies have been really bad lately here in Orlando, Florida. But I've been itchy in the creating. And the past few days, what I've been doing is like, oh, I should do a chore. Like I should clean the bathroom. I should put laundry away. I should change the AC filter. Like I've been doing these things the past few days instead of creating. But today I was like, no. Like, so I looked at my YouTube analytics and I saw that when it comes to quitting corporate job, that is over the past. So that's something else. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't hit the 4,000. One thing I did hit, so it was two things I didn't even fully think about it. And that's my issue when I just do. I don't really write down the goal and all the things I'm supposed to do. That's why I have a business strategist. But when I went into the YouTube challenge, I was like less than 100 away from 1,000 subscribers. So once I did every single day on YouTube, I got the 1,000 within less than 30 days. Mind you, it was less than 100 subscribers that I needed. So I did do that. That was an accomplishment within the 100 days. But it's so interesting how I cannot sit in my accomplishments. I cannot sit in my accomplishments. So with the Taurus moon, it is a season right now to just really slow down. Right? Slow down. And if you think about it too, we're in spring and we've been weeks into spring, right? And summer is coming in a few weeks, and summer is like, being outside and all that stuff. So it's like right before we go outside, it's just interesting how horoscope and the seasons all correlate with each other. Really taking this time to slow down. So I did for about, sorry, my friends, give me a minute, y'all. Where is my phone? I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Give me one moment. This is real life. This is real life with that. Okay, the power of Do Not Disturb. Did I do it? Did I not? Okay, put our phone on Do Not Disturb. So I lost my train of thought, but we're going to trudge on. So just sitting in my accomplishments, learning how to sit in contentment. Somebody like me, if you are a highly ambitious woman, overachiever, listen to me closely. You are doing more than enough, right? You are doing more than enough. So I want to get into the 3 questions that I realize it's like 2 or 3 questions that I realize I need to ask myself before I leave the people's job. So this job, I'm leaning on the desk that I be working the people's job. This job, I'm declaring it here on YouTube, is going to be my final job before I leave corporate altogether forever. I'm putting that in the ground. And the reason I know this to be true is because I have the following questions that I would ask myself here and there, but I wasn't fully in it. I wasn't fully in it. And now that I've been a business owner since 2021, 5 years now, and I officially rebranded, at the end of last year, 2025, and I now have a business strategist. Like, so I have somebody like one-on-one who knows the ins and outs of my business. I feel, sorry, mom life, kids are yelling downstairs with their auntie. I feel way better in my decision. So was quitting my corporate job a good idea? The answer is right now, no, it's not a good idea because I have no financial plan. I shared this in another video, and I create these videos for myself too to help process. Shout out to, is her name Candace? I think it's Candace. She just made a video. Actually, I follow her on Instagram. Shout out, hey Candace. She was saying how she is a verbal, like she likes to do videos too because it helps her process. So you'll notice as you watch my videos, I'm coming to realizations. So I did make a really good financial move when I left job A to go to job B over the past few months. Literally, y'all, when I got my new job at this place is when I decided to start the 100-day YouTube challenge. So that was 90 days ago. 90 days ago, I was like, I'm doing it. It was technically 100 days ago because you don't count the weekends with a corporate job. But anyways, so the one move I did make financially, because I was like, I don't have a financial plan. I'm slowly, that's the thing, and I want you to do this too, is like stop looking at things linearly, right? Because life is not linear. You have to look at things like, I don't know what the word is, but this financial move that I made when going from job A to job B is that I was like, okay, I have my 401k with job A, but job B does not use the same 401k company. I need to find a financial planner that can help me transfer this money into a different investment account. I so happen to know a financial planner, and she was like, yeah, we'll just bloop, bloop. Like, she told me what to do, easy. And I had a lot of money in that account. And so I know that I'm preparing myself by doing things like that. And I was about to say doing little things like that. So that's just a tip for you as you're transitioning, because it's a transition to go from being I've been a corporate girly for half my life, because my first job, I worked at Plato's Closet, which is a secondhand clothing store. That was my first job at 16. I manifested that shit because I remember I was like, I really want to work there because that was the place at the time that my mom refused to buy me clothes from like Hollister, Abercrombie and Fitch. She was like, no logos. My mom was not about that life. My mom was like minimalist back when it wasn't cool. My mom was vintage before it was, and so when Plato's Closet came about, I'm aging myself. I remember seeing the commercials on TV and they're like, you can get Abercrombie. Like, I was their target audience. I was like, Mommy, the clothes are cheaper. So she's like, sure, I can pay those prices. She's like, I ain't paying mall prices. That was my mom till this day. And so I remember once I became 16, I was like, I want to work there because then I could get a further discount. When I tell you that discount was so good, as a teenager who then grew up to be, college student, it was the perfect job to have as a girl. Oh my gosh. So anyways, after I got a job at Plato's Closet, I worked there. So I've been there. I'm 34 now. I got that first job at 16. I worked there through nursing school. And here I am, 34, about to be 35. I've worked corporate half of my life. So I have to... Sorry, I hear my kids talking, but I'm going to trudge through this video. They're okay. The aunt is downstairs. But I have to give myself grace, and that's what I encourage you to do as well. So you have to make sure you have a financial plan. At the same time, give yourself grace, right? As I'm sharing with you, I haven't even made the 6 figures that everybody says they make. But I didn't have a plan. I did not have a financial plan. So I'm slowly putting my financial plan together. And the first way I did that is look at my 401k. So make sure you look at your 401k. Yes, I have pulled out of my 401k. So just putting that out there as well. If you're like, girl, I pulled out of that, I don't got nothing in it. You have something in it. I know you do, especially if you are doing what you're supposed to and paying off bit by bit every 2 weeks. If you, for whatever reason, haven't, you have to do that. Continue to look at that and see how much more time you have to pay it off. So these are little things you can do to set yourself up for success once you take the leap. Because we always hear about, I took the leap, but what did it look like before you leaped? What did it look like when you were running to the edge of the mountain to do the leap to the next, or you do to the next mountain. You get what I'm saying? And so I want to give you that. So after you look to see if you have a 401k, and if you have to pay something down because you took out a 401k loan, it's real out here. There's no shame or judgment. I have nobody that helps me financially, no parents, none of that. So I am getting this out the mud right with you. So you do that. Next, I want you to ask yourself, how much do I need to save in order to leave? So right now, I'm giving you all the tea. This new job, and that was part of the reason I left the job A. The reason I left job A as a nurse, I work remote, and the job I worked for almost 10 years was, well, half of it. So the first half of it was in the office. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. 2.5, 3 years was in the office, and then I had my kids. The pandemic happened, and then I transferred to a different department that was fully remote, where I worked utilization management. I worked there for my whole kid's life. And then there was no, the pay, there we go. The salary was not increasing in the way that I needed. And I was like, well, and that was what I was grappling. So you want to talk about fear and how it shows up for me, because a lot of people are like, man, listen, you have no fear. I will show you how I had fear. So I was with the job A, I was making 81,000 yearly salary, benefits, 401k, all of that, right? And then, but it wasn't enough. Like I still wasn't like, it was not, we weren't making it shake here, if I'm gonna be honest with you, in my family, right? And so that was all the reason I was like, I gotta go harder for my business. But your girl had no strategy, had no plan. So I'm just beating a horse, if you will, right? Gotta watch what I say. So at that, like towards the end of me deciding to leave that job, because this is what I also realized. If I leave that job, that means I failed at my business. That means I failed at my business. Man, when I tell you this video is for me, it ain't for you. But thank you for being here. No, like for real, thank you for being here. We got to get the watch time up. Keep watching. Wow. So that I struggled with that. And I have a friend that was like, girl, I found somewhere else where we can make 95 and we gonna ask for 100. Amen to friends like that. I'm so thankful for that friend. She's still in my life. And she was like, I found another job, Leslie. We got to move. We got to move. And I was like, I'm comfortable. I wasn't saying it like that, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know anything about the next place. Mind you, it's literally the same thing. It was just going from NICU, which is babies, to back to adults. I was raised within the adult world, like as a grad nurse. So I know adults. I've never been a peds nurse, and I got a NICU job. So it's like, when I tell you God has always provided as I reflect, right? But I was like, I don't know. And mind you, though, it's a $10,000 increase. I still stay home. Why, Leslie? And it was because like I said, if I left job A to go to job B, that means I failed Leslie Does Wellness. But that's not true at all. If anything, I have more clarity in who I am. That's the biggest thing, in who I am. The value that I bring. The value that I bring is far exceeds my 12-week preventative health program. I know that. Building these videos, building out my resume, if you will, my video library of all of my skill sets, right? Because I'm not one dimensional. I am multi-dimensional. I'm 4D, okay? We coming to you live, loud, and in color. Shout out to T.S. Madison. And she said all that other stuff. 4D, right? And so let's get into the other question. So we're going to ask ourselves, how much do we need to save before we leave? And then how much do I need to have once I go? Those are kind of similar, but I was just writing what was coming to my head. So once you leave, right? This is okay. The reason this is why I wrote these two questions separate. you need to make sure you have like enough they say like what you want, like 6 months or 3 to 6 months emergency spending. So you want to save up to that. But then worst case scenario, say you don't get a client with your side business, with your side hustle, right? You have to also, what I would say is honestly like a year's worth of savings is like, I would actually like double your salary is what you want to save. So for me, I'm right now making 95. We'll just round up to 100. I need to save $200,000. That's really scary saying that out loud because I don't see that happening. Can I admit that? Yeah. So I was looking to see how much time I've been talking. Y'all are seeing me like I have nothing on. That's how it feels. 200,000 I need to have saved to like comfortably be like, okay, I can leap. Then this question is real good. I heard this on She's So Lucky with Les Alfred. I love that podcast, and I love how she's pivoted with her podcast, with her business. And she had Your Rich BFF, Vivian, too, on the podcast. And Vivian was like, you need to know how to manage your money. But she said it in this way, like, you need to know how your money, you need to choreograph your money. Like, your money is like a dance, right? So you need to like be like, okay, this bit of money is going to dance over here. This other bit of money going to dance over there. And then this other bit of money going to dance over there. It's like one big music video, right? And in a music video, there's multiple dancers. There's a producer, there's a director. And the director, though, has to know how to direct everybody. So you have to think of, you are the director of your finances, and this money does this money does that, and the other money does that. And even if you're like, girl, because I just told y'all all my finances pretty much, okay? So even if you're like, girl, I don't, and you're like, Leslie, you're making like a good amount of money. I am, but I have debt, right? So I realized that I need to know, even though I have debt, I have to learn how to manage the money that I do have. Yes, we can cut out expenses and things like that, but it honestly, this is a hot take, and I've been hearing this more, so it's not even a hot take. Cutting expenses is old school, if we're going to be honest with you. You can cut everything. I was raised like that and still struggle. And the reason you're still struggling is because you don't know how to manage your money. So no matter if you have 5 cents to $500, if you don't know how to manage the 5 cents to be like, okay, 1 cent is going to go to my bills. 1 cent is going to go to tithes. 1 cent is going to go to my savings. 1 cent is going to go to investment. Like, if you don't know how to manage that 5 cents, you will not know, I'm talking to myself, y'all, how to manage the 500. I recently had that mindset shift of, I've had that mindset shift, and also within that, Leslie, what is going to happen when you get all of the money? How are you going to manage it? When you get all the money, how are you going to manage it? And are you going to be able to receive? Not in the sense of, okay, thank you, but spiritually receive that money. Like I said earlier in the video, I now know my value. I understand my worth. I didn't understand my worth, my value last year. You know what I'm, so it's a spiritual thing. Money, it's spiritual in a good way. Right? They've got us all messed up and thinking that money is bad and only bad people have money. That is not true. I want to have a lot of money so that I can employ other people, so that I can help other people. That's why I want money. I want money to change the world. That's why I want the money. So you have to know why you want the money. How are you going to use it, right? You can't only think, I got these bills, because that's scarcity, right? And I just admitted scarcity at the beginning of this video. You hear me? So that's the wrap of this video. Was quitting my corporate job a bad idea? Yes, this was a little clickbaity. Your girl is really transparent, okay? But I realize, y'all, and I'm going to continue to make these videos of how I am preparing to take the leap. So we'll go down even more granularly of what that looks like. But based on my analytics, that's what the girls want. Y'all want to know, how are we balancing corporate life while being a wife, a mom, and having your side hustle? Because ultimately, my side hustle will become my full-time thing. So make sure you ask me questions down below. This helps me and it helps you, and I will definitely answer them in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.